guys, thanks for tuning in. I have a quickie for you today about minimalism and Christmas. So I wanted to share with you how our family does minimalism and gift giving over the holidays. Now, my biggest struggle when adopting a minimalist lifestyle was how to live in this way without having my children feel like I was really taking away something from them. And that's tricky. Maybe not when your kids are really small, which a lot of the advice I hear on this subject has to do with children that are quite small and don't really remember living a different way. My children were a little bit older, and so I had to be present when it came to how they were going to feel about this, because they had experienced what I would consider to be typical American Christmas. And so I had found the 4 gift rule along the way, probably on Pinterest or something, and that is something they want, something they need, something to wear, and something to read. And I thought that was really excellent, but it seemed limited to me. And so we expanded and we do a 7 gift rule. So there's something they want every year is their one item that they really are asking for. We pick a total dollar amount to spend for each child. And this is going to be different for everybody's income level. So we pick each year what we're going to spend, and their want is the highest priority. They get an item that they need. Sometimes it's a pair of shoes. It's something as a mother that I know that they will be needing coming soon, but really thought about it with them in mind. If they could pick it for themselves, what would it be? Something to wear is fun because it's a clothing item, or a few clothing items maybe if they're inexpensive. We'll do a few in the same box. This year was really quite fun because they're 12 and 14 and they're really coming into their own as far as their personal styles. And so I had a really fun time shopping for them this year, because as they get older, clothing is more important, and they're no longer asking for toys. Something to read can be a book. It can be a subscription to an audiobook. It could be maybe magazines. We've done magazines for actually for both kids over the years. And sometimes if, it's a really tight budget year, there are particular magazines that you can subscribe to for free as well within your community, which have good reading material for children as well. I think one year we subscribed to the Lego magazine for our son, and that didn't cost us anything. So that's fun. And then what we expanded on besides those 4 gifts was something to eat. This, we basically buy a gift card or a gift certificate, and we prepay for a dinner at their favorite restaurant. And it's basically like pre-planning for family nights out. And so that's been really wonderful for us to be able to gift it to them, and they know that they're going to get to go to their favorite restaurant sometime during the year, and we get to use it. And when we show up, we have the gift card. So it's basically dinner that we had already paid for long in advance. And then something to eat, something to do. So typically we take a trip during spring break, and a lot of the time, many of the years, we've basically prepaid for an excursion or a tour or something like that we've done during our trip. This year, we have no trips planned due to the pandemic, so we had to kind of think of things that they could do at home. And so that's how we've worked something to do this year. It ended up where typically that's one of their more expensive items, and this year it's one of their less expensive items. And then the last one is one other thing. And this really, as a mother, gives me the flexibility to think of things that maybe I've heard them say they wanted that don't really fit into the categories, or it's, you know, doubling up on a category, and I get to have the flexibility to like throw in one other item for them. So that's kind of their surprise gift that's outside of the categories. The way that I organize this is I keep it on my phone all year, and sometimes I start as early as summer. It's whenever, I like having it on my phone because it's always with me. And it's whenever I hear them say something that they'd like to have, that we're not just going to, you know, run out and go buy them. Maybe it's a skim board or something else. And I'll keep a running list until maybe October or November, and I'll start plugging the things that they've said into categories and kind of price points. And then anything that they have on there that didn't really fit into those categories, those items I can use as things when family members or family friends will ask us, what should I get this child? And so keeping it all together on my phone is really quite helpful. And it kind of eliminates, this system eliminates them going through the catalogs of toys and such every year, because they know it's the 7. And this has worked really well for us. They haven't felt like they had anything taken away from them. And they're really grateful for each of the 7 things. And it's kind of fun for them. We write on the box like what the category is. And so it's kind of fun for them to see what we came up with each year for each thing. And then finally, last year we started a tradition, and it's a lot of work. I will say it. It is not a minimal amount of effort, but if you have small children, maybe ask them to leave the room at this point. But our kids are now old enough to where they are non-believers in the man in red. And so what we have done is to keep it exciting on Christmas morning. We have come up with a scavenger hunt for their 7 things. And so last year I wrote it as like a funny poem based off of things that the kids were interested in, and especially in middle school, they have a very strange sense of humor. And so I played off of that and wrote a poem and hid things randomly throughout the house, in the washing machine, in the backyard. And so that's how we have kept it fun and fresh. And it's quite hilarious to see them coming together to try to figure the clues out. Anyway, thank you guys. I hope this helps any of you that are looking for a way to reconcile living more minimally and giving gifts to your children, but not knowing how to do that if they've had a typical Christmas. I always appreciate you guys liking and subscribing to my channel. It really helps me out, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you have a safe, warm, and Merry Christmas.